Welcome to the Highfield Academy training video. I'm Laura and this video is for Functional Skills English Level 2. Now this video contains information and guidance on spelling at Level 2. So today we're going to be looking at the assessment criteria, spell words used in work, study and daily life, including a range of specialist words. So let's look at what that actually means. So let's look at what you actually need to know. According to the subject content for functional skills, you must know how to spell words that are used in daily life. So this could be writing emails, letters, articles, reports, or anything else you may need to write in your day-to-day life. Now, it's worth saying at this point that even if you do your functional skills assessment online, the spell check function will be turned off. So it's up to you to spell each word correctly. And this includes specialist words. So this is defined as those that have a specific meaning within a certain context, such as words related to a specific job or work environment, a pastime or hobby, or a certain area of study. So this is taken directly from the functional skills subject content on the government's website, which you can access at any time for more information. Okay, so moving on to spelling rules then. Spelling rules are important to know. And the most common rule really is I before E except after C, but only when it rhymes with me. So let's look at some examples of this rule in action. So we've got the word retrieve. We can see here that this rhymes with me and there is no C, so it is I before E. We have receive. Again, this rhymes with me and there is a C, so it's E before I. We've got wait. Now this doesn't rhyme with me and there is no C, so therefore it's E before I. And we've got conscience. Again, this doesn't rhyme with me, but there is a C, so it's I before E. There are, of course, some exceptions to the rule. An example of these are receipt, seize, and weird, among others. These don't strictly follow the rule, so it's important that you familiarise yourself with these and other exceptions. Now, one important thing to be aware of when spelling words is the use of double consonants. Now, these are letters that don't include A, E, I, O, and U, so all those other letters. These can be tricky to get right, so it's important that you familiarise yourself with these words as they are commonly misspelled, and that could prevent you from gaining marks in your exam. So let's look at a few common words with double consonants that you might need to use in your assessment for functional skills. So we've got committee, essential, communicate, excellent, discussion and appearance, possible, correspond, community, address, attachment, tomorrow and college, appreciate, opposite, common, misspelled, necessary, successful and business. Now later on I'll introduce you to some different methods in order to learn new spellings. Now there are of course some words that contain what we call silent letters. This just means that we don't pronounce those letters or sounds when we read the word aloud. So let's look at some examples. Answer, we've got a silent W. Knowledge, silent K. Doubt, silent B. Chemist, silent H. Which, when, what, why, these all are silent H's. And write, the silent W. This is of course the action to write, not when something is right. Now there are some commonly misspelled words that are notoriously tricky to get right. There are tricks that you can use to help you remember exactly how to spell them. So let's start with the word necessary. Most people tend to get the C's and the S's mixed up in this word and it's easy done. But if you picture a shirt, it has one collar and two sleeves. Now you can use this fact to help you remember one C for collar and two S's for sleeves. Now, sincerely is another word that can be tricky to get right, and it's most commonly used when signing off at the end of a letter. An easy way to remember this is as the two words since and rely, since you rely on a response. Then just simply sandwich the two words together. Now, definitely is another commonly misspelt word, as many people make the error of including the letter A, which is incorrect. An easy way to avoid this is to split the word up, definitely. Remember there's an init and two E's in the word, with the init being somewhere between the two E's. Separate is also commonly misspelled. Now again, people often replace one of the A's for an E, which is incorrect. So to combat this, simply remember that there is a rat in the word. Sep, a rat, and an E on the end. Now, mnemonics are a great way to help you remember difficult spellings. Now, these are just words where the letters reference other words. So, for example, because. This can be remembered by the mnemonic, big elephants can't always use small exits. Or, to remember how to spell beautiful, big elephants always use taxis in Fulham. This may seem ridiculous, but it's a great way to remember tricky spellings. For instance, you may struggle with the spellings of words like could, would, and should. So, to remember the spelling of these words, just simply think, oh, you lovely duck, for O-U-L-D. Now, there are lots of other mnemonics that you can use to spell words, so it may be worth doing some research yourself and seeing what other ones you can find. Now, homophones are words that sound the same but are spelled differently and have different meanings. So, for example, break and brake. You can see that brake, spelled B-R-A-K-E, means to brake on a bicycle or a car, whereas break, spelled B-R-E-A-K, means to break something like an egg or a window. Another example is steal and steal. So steal, spelled S-T-E-A-L, is an action, meaning to steal something like valuables or a car. Whereas steel, spelled S-T-E-E-L, is the material steel, like a steel chain or stainless steel cutlery. So let's look at some more examples of homophones then, and there are some icons here to help you remember which word means what. So we've got meet, and male, and missed, and past, peace, and weather. Now we've got accept and accept. Now I'm going to pause here because this one is most commonly misused. Accept with an A means that you are accepting something, you are taking something in. Whereas accept with an E, it's the exception, it's the thing that you don't want. So other examples include seen and seen, got berry, and we've got bear. So now let's look at some handy tips for spelling. Now, if you are unsure how to spell a word, particularly a longer word, it might help to sound the word out loud. So for instance, if you wanted to spell the word community, you may wish to sound it out as community. Now, if you are particularly creative, you might like to try rainbow writing in your spare time. And this is where you write the word that you are learning to spell in one colour, and then continue to layer the word with different colours, thus helping you to remember the spelling, and it can actually be quite relaxing too. There is, of course, the traditional method of look, say, cover, write, check, which a lot of people find useful. This is when you look at the word that you are learning to spell, say it out loud, and you can do this several times if it helps, and then cover the word over before attempting to write it. You would then uncover the word to check your spelling, and you simply repeat this method until you are getting the spelling right every time. And finally, you can use a dictionary or look the word up online if you are struggling. Now, please remember that you cannot use a dictionary in your functional skills writing exam. You can only use a dictionary in the reading. So make sure that you practice your spellings, punctuation and grammar in advance of your writing exam, as once again, you cannot use a dictionary in that exam. Okay, so now it's over to you. There are 3 words spelled in 3 different ways below. Can you identify the correct spelling of each word? So the words are definitely, communicate, and receive. Now you can pause the video here so that you can identify the correct spellings. Okay, let's see how you did. Now here you can see the correct spellings of each word. So we've got definitely, communicate, and receive. Okay, let's recap some of the things we've talked about in this video. Be careful with words that contain silent letters or double consonants. Use mnemonics or sounding out wherever you can. Get to know your homophones, these are tricky. And be sure to proofread your work thoroughly before submitting anything. It's really, really important that before you submit any work in your exam or your assessments, that you check your spelling, punctuation and grammar throughout, as you may lose marks. Now, I hope that you've enjoyed this video, so make sure you check out the other functional skills videos that are available on our website for support with your functional skills exams. Thank you for watching.